Hey guys, and welcome to Monday. I actually, unfortunately, was not feeling well earlier today. Last night, after we ended the vlog, I was up and reading a little bit and ended up just starting to get super sick as the night progressed. My stomach was starting to hurt a lot. It was just nonstop. It kept me from going to sleep. I wanted to go to sleep earlier, and I kept thinking about going to sleep, but every time I wanted to, my stomach ache would just come back, and I didn't want to have to go in there into the bedroom and constantly be getting back up because of my stomach ache, and then coming back and like waking Giselle up and stuff. So I ended up staying here in my office, just kind of waiting for it to go away. Eventually it got a little bit more subdued. Very, very late. I got very, very little sleep. I had a very hard time falling asleep as well, and yeah, it was not a pleasant night. And so this morning I woke up after like maybe an hour of sleep, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, and I was dead tired. My stomach was still hurting. I felt like if I got up, it would just all come back. The stomach feeling would all come back again, and so I ended up just staying home from work. Unfortunately, I hate using sick days, but I couldn't help it. I knew if I tried to go to work, I would just be back and forth between falling asleep at my desk and the bathroom all day long, and it would not have been a fun day. And I don't think I would have gotten a lot of work done, and so instead I stayed home and slept. Giselle went to work. She went to the bookstore. She's actually back now. She just got back. The sun is kind of setting at the moment. I would really like to go shower real quick and film a couple of reviews before the sun sets. I am starting to feel a little bit better, like throughout the last few hours. I did get some sleep. I slept for a little while, which was really nice and really helped. When I woke up, my stomach was still not feeling great, and it's feeling better now. I think maybe I'll try to eat some dinner soon. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure what we'll try to have, but I think I'm going to go shower and then do some reviews. But yeah, last night was not great, and then today not so good for having to miss work for a day, especially since I'm taking a day off also this month for Easter and stuff in a couple weeks. So just so we can drive up down to Maryland. But yeah, it was kind of unavoidable, and Giselle agreed, and it was kind of a thing where she came in and she was already awake. She woke up to start getting ready for work, and I was still in bed, and she was like, "Are you feeling okay?" And I told her about what happened last night, and she was like, "You know what, maybe you should stay home and email them that you're not going to be coming in today." And I was like, I don't want to do that. I hate missing work. I really hate using sick days. I really don't like taking that time off, because I always feel like I could use it for something better in the future. Like, what if I need it later on? Even though there's not really a whole lot this year at all that we're going to be doing that I would need it for. Like, we're not really going anywhere until we're doing Easter in Maryland. We're going to do Thanksgiving in Maryland, and we'll do Christmas in California later on in the year, obviously. So there's not a whole lot that'll be happening that I'll have to use the time off for, and I do get a pretty decent amount of time off at this job. But anyway, I'm going to film some reviews. I did want to real quick show you something. Apparently, after Giselle got home, I was working on finishing up some thoughts on what I wanted to say for my review for Star's End, which I really, really enjoyed. I really want to kind of shout this book's praises and get more people to read it. So I've been thinking about what to say in my review for the last little bit, and I was listening to some music while I was doing that, and apparently the doorbell rang, and this got delivered. This package, it's a book. I don't quite know what it is. I guess we'll find out together. It says it's from Tor. Well, it says it's from Tor.com, which is slightly different from Tor. In which case, actually, maybe I do know what this is. I do. I did request this, but they didn't have any more ARCs left when I originally requested it. And so she said she would send me a finished copy, and this does come out tomorrow. So I guess they got their finished copies in and are now sending them out. And it sounds pretty cool. I really like this cover. I really like the way it sounds. It's got a little quote from Shauna Maguire on the front. It's kind of like a Lovecraftian kind of story that involves the Cthulhu mythos, and it's called Wintertide by Ruthana Emrys. I think that's how you pronounce it. There's her name right there. It's a really beautiful book. Looks really nice in general. And this, like I said, comes out tomorrow. I would love to read this in the next little bit. I'm definitely not going to get to it this week, but it's definitely something that's a high priority for possibly next week. Can't really help it. I mean, it came sort of late, so I haven't really been able to put it into my schedule. I wasn't sure if it was actually going to come because I thought it would come sooner than this. But it's kind of understandable why it came now. It says 2 decades ago, the U.S. government rounded up the people of Innsmouth and took them to a desert prison far from their ocean, their Deep One ancestors, and their sleeping god Cthulhu. Only Afra and Caleb Marsh survived the camps, emerging without a past or a future. Now it's 1949, and the government that stole Afra's life needs her help. FBI agent Ron Spector believes that communist spies have stolen dangerous magical secrets from Miskatonic University, secrets that could turn the Cold War hot in an instant and hasten the end of the human race. Afra must return to the ruins of her home, gather the scraps of her stolen history, and assemble a new family to face the darkest of human politics and the wildest dangers of an uncaring universe. So, that sounds pretty good. Some blurbs from some other authors that I have heard of and plan to read stuff from at some point. So, yeah, it's cool. This is coming out from Tor.com tomorrow, and it's got this little cool little thing in here. It's a little advertisement for another book, River of Teeth by Sarah Gailey. That looks pretty cool. It's really coming out in May. I might have to request that. That looks cool. I like that. Might have to look that up. I love that Tor.com, the last few times I've gotten things from them have sent these little cards. That's how I found about this one. They had a little card for this one in The Fortress at the End of Time, which I reviewed earlier this year. So I really like that they include those. So I'm probably going to request this book now. Wonderful.
So it's quite late now. It's about 10:30 and I've been back from work for a while. I actually went for like a second look at that job that I'm considering. It's just, it feels risky to me almost taking it because it's such a new place that I just wonder how it will go, but I wouldn't have to make any decisions till after Easter anyway, so I'm not worrying about it right now. I'm just trying to pray about it and see what feels best, and I'll have some time over the weekend to think about it, hopefully, so that will be good. Anyway, another thing about it though is that I may be able to have flexible hours, which would be awesome, because if I can have work from about 8:10 to 5:30 to 6 o'clock every day, that would be incredible because it'd line right up with Christopher. So that's what I'm hoping can happen with it, but we'll see. I'll keep thinking about it. It's just, like I said, it feels kind of risky, so we'll have to see. Anyway, before I left work at the bookstore though, my manager, she was like, so, you know when you like see something and it makes you think of someone so much that you just have to like buy it for them? She's very obsessed with this app that's very similar to like eBay that she'll like buy stuff on. And so she's like, I just saw this and I thought of you, and she made me close my eyes and she put it in my hand. And it was this. You Potterheads out there may recognize this as Ravenclaw's diadem. When I first saw it, I didn't immediately recognize it, and she asked, do you know what that's from? And I was like, Harry Potter, right? Is that the diadem? And I was correct. So it's not something that like I instantly recognized, probably because it's not an actual crown. Like if it was, I would have, but I'm like, yeah, that's the diadem. It's very pretty, and she didn't even realize what it was from when she got it, and then she realized afterwards. And yeah, and it works perfectly because, I don't know if you guys remember this or whatever, but over here on our Harry Potter shelf, I actually have a couple Harry Potter necklaces. I have a Time Turner, and then I also have a Deathly Hallows locket. And so now I can have this diadem, which would actually go on the 7th one, but I'd probably stick it on the 5th one because I feel like that's where it looks prettiest. So we'll probably be in this vicinity, but it was just so cute that she got that for me and that she thought of me, so thank you. I appreciate it. And I was just like, oh, I already have 2 Harry Potter necklaces on my Harry Potter shelf. And I have 2 Harry Potter shelves, so I'll have to hang this up and take a picture to show her. It was just so cute. So this was a little present that I got today, and I'm proud of myself that I did recognize it, because I've only seen both of the Harry Potter 7s once as they each came out. So, well, as they each came out on DVD. I might have seen the first part in movie theaters when it came out, but that was like 2010, and then 2011 when I saw them. So it was a while ago. And like I said, I've only seen them both each once. So yeah. Anyway, I also had one other thing that I wanted to show you. So sorry the camera's a little crazy right now. I'm pretty tired. In case you couldn't tell, I've been pretty tired all day. But at work, I can get some arcs. So I grabbed a few. I may change my mind on some of them, but they actually look all right up my alley. There's like one that I'm a little iffy on. Anyway, I got some arcs, and I figured I'd show you. Then I got them all from work, and the most recent one coming out is going to be in September, so they're all a decent while away. So I'll show you the September one first, and it is The Wolf Hour, and this is by Sarah Lewis Holmes, and it's a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. And since I have my fairy tale thing going on forever and always, and my love of fairy tales, I decided to grab it. And it doesn't have a blurb on this, but it does have a blurb on Goodreads that I read, and it's like about their friendship or whatever. It seems awesome, so hopefully I enjoy it. I don't know if there's any reviews on Goodreads yet. I don't remember. There were for a few of these, and then there weren't for a few of them as well, so we'll see. The next book that I got, I've actually only read one book by this author, actually, and I read it right at the end of last year. It's by Garth Nix, but it's by Garth Nix and Sean Williams, and it's Half Sword Will Travel. And yeah, I don't remember everything about this, but it's 2 kids, 1 sword, 1 epic adventure. I did enjoy the other Garth Nix book that I read. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was like had a lot of depth. It was Newt's Emerald, but I liked it, and I'm gonna see if I will like this one as well. And this one comes out in October. I'm sorry I'm not giving good blurbs. I'm too tired for this. The next one that I have here is also in October, and it is The Princess Imposter by Vivian Van Velde. Vivian Van Velde is an author that I actually really enjoy. I've read quite a few of her books, and to me, her and Diana Wynne Jones are pretty similar in my mind, and I just really like both of them. And I've read, like I said, a few of her books, and it's like about this princess who gets taken by fairies or something. I don't remember exactly, but it has such like a fun cover, and it's fairies and it's Velde, so I will probably enjoy it at least. The next book that I have here is the one that I'm slightly iffy on, and this one actually has been out in the UK for almost a year now, I believe. Also comes out in October here, and it's The Library at the Edge of the World by Felicity Hayes McCoy. It's like about this lady who I think she's either getting a divorce or something like that, and she goes to Ireland and has like a traveling library van that she drives around in, and like sets up this little like pop-up library, I think. I think that's what it's about, and it sounds cute. I've heard it's not the most wonderful though. The Goodreads reviews are mixed, but I decided that I would give it a try and see. Oh, and apparently it comes out in November, not October, so I failed on that a little bit, but we'll see what I think of it. And the last one that I have here is actually quite interesting. I have an interest, I guess, in this mildly, but it just sounded really interesting, and plus the cover is, again, really cool, and it is Lady Killers by Tori Teller, and it has illustrations by Dame Darcy. It's deadly women throughout history, and it's about, I think, 14 different female serial killers in about I don't know if they're all in the 1800s, but several of them are, and yeah, historical female serial killers, which is interesting. I don't want to say that I like serial killers, because I like reading about historical facts like this and stuff, and I find them really interesting. It does seem a little bit like women can be killers too, meh, which, I mean, I don't know if that's something we should be proud about. It's actually something we shouldn't be proud about, but it seems a little bit like that. But if I set that aside, because they say that they like quote something that says like, there are no female serial killers, and this book is like to prove that statement wrong, and I'm like, I don't know if we want to be proving that wrong. Like, obviously we should learn our history, but that just seemed a little interesting. But regardless, I feel like the story will be cool, and I feel like it's just a bunch of stories about them, and it will be fast reading probably too because of that. And like I said, the cover is just very interesting. I feel like this will also hopefully be better because I tried to read Stalking Jack the Ripper a few months ago. It's one of the books that put me in my reading slump because it was so bad. So I'm thinking this will be a better and more interesting thing about serial killers than that one was, because that was just so bad. But there we go. Those are the 5 books that I've picked up for review over the past like week or so from work, which is such a cool perk of working there. I did talk to one of my managers about possibly getting more hours there if I am working in the back, like receiving items, because it is a gift shop as well, and there's like a lot of receiving to be done. She says that they'll probably need people more in like June and July because that's when they start getting all their Christmas stuff, and she's like, it takes forever to unbox everything for Christmas because there's like a lot of ornaments, and you have to, it's like a box within a box within a box within like 8 layers of tissue paper and like 5 plastic coatings and stuff like that. So like she says they take forever to unbox, and that they will probably need extra help in the back when that happens, but for now they may be able to use me a little bit. So I told her that after Easter I would get her some kind of more firm schedule and I may be able to work there a little bit more. So especially I think last Wednesday when I was there, I ended up just doing my normal stuff. They'll like bring up a cart for me to work on while I'm at register, and I'll just do it or whatever. And so in one morning afterward, she was like, you did so much. She's like, you did more in this like short amount of time that you're here. I was like at register for like, I don't know, I was really only working on stuff for like 2 or 3 hours. She's like, you did more than in the morning shift than we usually get done in like 2 days. It takes us 2 days to get all this done. And I'm like, but that was so easy. So I think I've been impressing them with how quickly and efficiently I'm able to like unpack stuff and tag things and label them and stuff like that. So things are going well there, and my legs didn't hurt as badly today as well. I did try to take some time like taking pressure off my legs and like leaning on the counters and stuff, and I feel like that really helps. So I think I need to be more conscious of that, because when my legs were hurting so badly last week, I think it's because I was standing up straight typing stuff on the computer for a good while. Which, going back to the juice bar really quickly, I told her that I have some leg problems and asked if I would be able to have a chair back there when it's not busy to sit down for a minute, and she said she would love me to sit down for short breaks and stuff like that and sit down as much as I need to and stuff. She's just a very understanding person. She said that she sprained both of like her Achilles tendons or whatever, so she's like, she's a huge advocate for like leg and leg strength and giving your legs breaks when they need them, so that is awesome of her as well, which is just another pro of working there. So now that I've been rambling for like 15 minutes, I don't know how much Chris has edited this down to because I've been quite stumbly. I'm gonna call it a night for the night, so thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go to bed now, and we will see you in the morning.